Brian and I are here with good news. We have good news if you are a people pleaser, or even if you have that type A personality where you need every detail checked off. We have good news for you. We're back in Proverbs 8 this week, and we're going to finish up the section where we were last week. And that was, we started with verse 22 and went to verse 31. And so we're on verse 30 now. We're going to finish those two last verses and look at those a little bit deeper. So it says, then I, and remember the I is wisdom. This is verse 30. Then wisdom was beside him being God, as master craftsman. And I was his delight day by day, rejoicing before him at all times, rejoicing in the habitable parts of the earth, and delighting in its people. So here's the good news. That last little piece, wisdom and God at the point of creation. This whole imagery in this section has been about creation and how wisdom was there with God during creation and watched all the habits, watched all of the patterns of creation, watched the habits of humankind being formed, and then they took a step back. They took a step back and sat down and rejoiced. They rejoiced over creation. They rejoiced and delighted in what had been made. And that last little bit says, and delighting in its people, earth's people. So there's the good news.
Good news. Good news.
For folks like me who are people pleasers, and we've been talking about how sometimes we as Christians kind of set up this checklist of things that have to be accomplished and to make God happy as humans. And if we follow God's will, then we've made God happy. And there's good news here. Mm-hmm. That God sat back after making creation and delighted in it.
Yeah.
Delighted in the people.
It may be good to take a cue from God sometimes.
Yeah.
And that we can sit back too and delight in people.
So God is already happy with us, right? We're stressed too much about what we have to do, and God is already happy and delighting. Yeah. Now, does that mean we shouldn't work hard? Absolutely not. We're not going there. Yeah, we should work hard. Right. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the delights. I mean, we get some of those. We get good rewards for working hard. We have an internal. There's some things that go off inside of us. Like there's good feelings with working hard, feeling good about yourself. There's good feelings about loving. These are things that make us happy.
And that's what we talk about: being a part of God, being part of the creation, being like wisdom was helping create. Mm-hmm. Being an artist. That's what God was doing here. And at the end of his artistry, he sits back and says, "Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. I like it." So God is delighting in you. So where's our challenge?
Yeah, so we can, our challenge is maybe just to join God and to join wisdom. And for us to take a moment to sit back and to delight in God and God's creation. Because there's a lot to be happy about. And don't we need some of that these days?
Yeah, and to delight in those that frustrate us?
Yes, even those. Yeah. Because let's face it, the people who frustrate us, they're molding us too.
Yes.
And it can be molded for a good purpose. That's the idea.
Yeah.
So changing, growing, and delighting, and taking that time to find some peace, to find some joy, and to remember. I mean, where's that in Psalms? And it says, "Delight in the Lord, and the Lord will grant you the desires of your heart." That's something there, and that's something important. I mean, God changes the desires of our heart and makes it good, but God grants us. God wants good things for us.
Yeah. So good news, people pleasers.
Good news.
Good news. God is delighting in you already. God has been delighting in you since your creation. Now, let's join God in that delight, and let's delight in God, and let's delight in creation just as God has.
Yeah. So, yeah, take a few moments, take a mini vacation. We
Mini
encourage you to
vacation.
take a mini vacation in your mind. Join God, join wisdom at the beginning and right now, and delight in this creation.
Yeah.
You'll be happy you did. It'll change your brain.
Thank you, wisdom, and thank you, Proverbs. Y'all have a great day.